come to Jamaica, the island of real bad man. Some real dog at you, some real gang bang. No run for the fair, the not garbage man. Step up! These are the moments when everybody gun loaded. We not instigate violence, but we believe in the self-defense no matter what. These are the moments when every gangster gun loaded. We not instigate violence, but we believe in the self-defense.
In Jamaica's relentless war and crime, the worst criminals end up on the True Island Story platform. These are their stories. Welcome to True Island Stories. This is part 2 of the wooded story, the young female savage of the Damar Cubanz crew in Luke Lane, West Kingston. When I speak about who did, I know some of y'all minds revert to the dark corners of your perverted minds. But I can assure you, that's not where your mindset should be piloted, you low ingrates. But we are who we are. And who am I to dictate how you should psychoanalyze your own fantasies, huh? But all we know, Beans, a cohort of Hooded, was a quiet but bloodthirsty delinquent. One would see him and thought, oh, he was just a regular boy. But trust and believe, there was nothing regular about this Basilian reptile from the western ramifications. Beans not left gun. Oh, him not left strap. Police have to catch him with it, word. And the body boy, them don't want to free up the man thing so him can go down and represent for the dog. Yeah, come from. Word. Yeah, man, a dog in a Western Kingston, but not say nothing, my brother. Yeah, come from. Yo, everybody's argument that by the internet. Apart from Mooney Vice note them still, we are lead that. But you can catch Mooney Vice note them in a Mooney series or on the Patreon page. Who did and Bean start putting holy power of the Cubanz system definitely in a 2015. Alright, if you remember when I say who did Billy and Cubanz did make a mad step and mark and matches lane the night when Ratbat was killed. Who did was more adamant for this retaliation than even Cubanz himself. That night she could be heard shouting, yeah, be my more fast in the Glock, no more fast in the Glock, I got poured out them fast in the boy, hey. More fast I got poured out the man, them I did it, yeah, I'm tear my lad. Them boy, they killed my family, hurry up, stop, I'm tear. Hooded was devastated over her friend's death. About a week later, Hooded was amongst the men from Luke Lane who shot up Matches Lane, and she was firing a big fat zigzag. A shootout ensued between both sides. Boom, 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 boom. Cloop, 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 cloop. One piece of exchange on the chopper between the two sides. Kaku, boom, 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 boom. Kaku, boom, 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 boom. The perimeter light up with gunshot today. With the empty out our magazine in the night. And our enemy them are reload. Coop, 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 coop. And I knock it. Beans, he end up being hard on spoilers when we have a link, you know, with enough man in our community. But them time the spoilers was at war with adjoining communities. Who did end up going on a whole heap of works with Beans and other accomplices. A whole lot of blood was spilled by these deviants without an ounce of remorse for their victims or their victims' families. In 2016, a man was killed in a yard, right on a spoilers. You know, say me hear cup and a cup stairs and me not stop my story. I was kind of indecent behavior that man. Me hear bowl and spoon and in a middle of my door. So take time with the ball up there though. Yeah, a man was killed running through a yard from the car. White here, so you think, a man was killed running through a yard from the cops. So him run through a yard with Hooded and Beans in there, Hooded and Beans, them and them trick him. And then bring him down a lane beside down a Salvation Army church in a downtown there. So boom! one to him soapy. One skelly welly from behind him get. Him dead before him limb frame hit the canvas. Now in the same year, who dead along with Beans and a youth by the name of Jabo allegedly go for a funeral parlor owner down Orange Street, and that was a hit for hire. The man them go for him with blood in them eye. Yeah, them eat all time chest plate, them devil pipe, club, and then fling him body, give Maggie Chinny and brother. Who dead? Oh, she was on a roll at this time, but only good salvation lasts forever, saith the Christians. They're all nabbed and indicted for 2 killings. While incarcerated, they got the sad news that their Don, Damar Cubanz, was assassinated down by Maxfield, and the men from Luke Lane was at war with Hooded's friends from Love Lane because they were linking with genocide. And if you remember, it is said that genocide had Cubanz killed in Maxfield. Lecturer and his crew weren't liking this idea at all. Now it is alleged that men from Luke Lane coincided with men from Rum Lane of Tel Aviv. They want them roll out pan genocide, brother, when him Juma pan East Street and catch him guard off in December in the same year. Them not give him no chance, brother. Triple combo, them give him out of them gumbo. And that was a retaliatory killing for their Don, Damar Cubanz. You understand? Yeah. Can't catch Kwaku, catch shot at that reach. Genocide, brother, when him Jomo Skomo. This also made it sad for Luke Lane, though, as it is said that genocide's men pull up on lecturer and forehead in the Sunday morning of 2017 and go. Shoot them up. They were rushed to the hospital, but they succumbed to their injuries and died. Hooded and Beans now told police who did the murder, and they were eventually given bail. So Hooded and Beans now start link up with men who were once their enemies of Matches Lane, who were themselves now against the Phipps orders and were doing their own thing. And they were known to many as DTS. They were at odds with some men who were at the bottom of West Street and Matches Lane. These men were at war for the killing of Rasta Richie. And if you remember the Zion Train story, it's on the channel. Go and check it out. Me tell you everything connect. The story with the Mumpai and Richie, where it is alleged that Mumpai's father killed her because she was intimate with Rasta Richie. Well, this is the same Richie. And he was pounced upon and shot dead in a betting shop along Beeston Street. And the men from Matches Lane retaliated and them lick with a brother named Sagled, whose son was involved in Richie's murder. Now his son was called Israel, and Israel killed back a man in a retaliation for his dad's death on Princess Street. He, however, was later bounced upon and shot dead by Oxford Street just a week or 2 afterwards. So it was just one cycle of blood for blood, sangre por sangre, senseless killing. Well, not senseless to them, but in the eyes of the outsider, what sense does it make? You know what I mean? What started the killing? Could those killings have been prevented? And when you come back out 10 years from now, when you look back at it, was it really worth it? You know, those people could have been alive. But hey, we're not the judge, you are the executioner. You know what I mean? Woodhead's involvement in these acts were minimal, but she was never outright innocent to them either. In the same year of 2017, Woodhead and Beans, the man named running pan a brother by the name of Feta Cox, and race out 2 devil pipe on him while he was entering his vehicle. Lick him where? The same year again in 2017, Woodhead's stepfather running pan him and lick him up on Charles Street and Princess Street because It was rumored that his bike was involved in the shooting of Liberty over Elsha. Now if you want to hear about that, go and check the P-Boy story on the True Island Story channel. Who that was involved in numerous and callous acts within our community, which was only adding up to our own downfall. In October of 2017, a man named Buhaise, he was linking with DTS and he was killed after he was fighting for a spot to sell his goods. Them stab him up. Yeah man, them ring out some knife in him and kill him. So on December the 10th, 2017 now, Uded was attending Buhaise funeral in East Kingston at the King's Chapel on Woodward Road when a Toyota Tonius pull up suddenly. Brrr, boom, 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 brrr, boom, 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 boom. Everybody choke wet. But guess what? Uded and to her courts was a day later and a dollar shot. Uded was shot 3 times. And she and others were rushed to the KPH where she passed away despite numerous attempts to save her life. Might I mention another one of Damar, Cubanz' brother, lost his life this past weekend. So, if you guess gun violence, then you guess right. He was attacked and pumped full of lead at the corner of Earwood Street and Princess Street in downtown Kingston. And we are talking about Urky, aka Jankro. They clipped his wing and fed him back to the vultures. Cannibalism, perhaps? We have come to the end, the conclusion of the Hooded series. Join us for more stories on the True Island Stories. Please press the like button and the share button. Share it on WhatsApp, IG, Facebook. And let's help build this channel. Matthias Nation there. Help you show about the story them. Help you teach the youth them. Don't forget to press the notification bell so you do not miss a story when it's premiering. And as we add our disclaimer, our stories are not meant to glorify crime or violence in no way, shape or form, but merely used as a tool so we can change hearts and minds to walk on the straight and righteous path. And do not be the heroes or the stars that are on True Island Stories channel. Carve out your own path, because there's always light at the end of the tunnel. But be careful of the light, because sometimes a train, you understand, so you have to take that you understand me? Yeah man, you see me? So, you know, walk good people. Be a leader, a good leader, not a boss, because a good leader leads, but a bad boss drives. And all you do when you drive is drive away good people away from you. Remember, merch store there. You can get other things if you want to support TIS. You know what I mean? And thank everybody who support me. You see me, I say, big up everybody and respect. You see me, look out for the next story coming soon. But if you choose to pick up the gun or the knife, then there's a chance you might end up on True Island Stories. What will you choose?
I am Joy.
Pepper, you know the real J-thing, huh? How I grow up, sometime the road tough, side slow. Real patriots never buckle, never fall. How they get to run, that's why. Back from the boy who no do that. Boy, who no can't tell with joy, who no boy. Who from your soul don't know a wrong boy. Yo, and a man bust a shot him off a pack up and boat. Pointed pon him head back and boat. Pop off him strap on him friend him for door. None of that, no assumption, I saw the ground rough. Power, married to corruption. Criminal, bred from limited options. 10 generation, I see the said someone wanted man will live long. Name one. Things forever bury with no done. Name one. And good honest politician. Name one. And get a youth resilient. Back from the boy who no do that. Boy, who no can't tell with joy. Who no boy. Who from your soul don't know a wrong boy. Yo, yo a man better go. Any man bust a shot him off a back up and go. Point it on him head back and go. Pop off him strap and him friend them for door. None of that yo a man better. Things risky, for the misfit. Dead rate fit the logistic. Chris, I want the biscuit. Eight of crackers with the whiskey. You're not listening. Crime live here, so it's not visiting. Visitors, careful, you know what the business is. Murder, plunder, pillaging. Oh, bloodshed in all the villages. You name it, yo, we live in it. Get rich, I do special delivery. Nightmare, tormented images. Vengeance, bloody cycle continuing. But know you seek that, but it's no revenge. Looking at the mirror, there is no different. Man, we full of, hey, and we know we trends back from the boy, I wanna do that. Oh no, can't tell me ja, oh no, oh from your so we don't know around. Now a man better. Any man bust no shot him off a back up and go. Point it on him head back and go. Pop off him strap on him friend him for door. None of that, yo a man better. No assumption, I saw the ground run. Power, marital corruption. Criminal, red from limited options. 10 generation, passing the said song. 1 man will live long. Name one, brings a fella with the name one. One honest politician, name one who. And get a youth resilient. Back from the boy, we not do that. Can't kill with jaw on the back. Move from your soul, don't know where wrong go. Yo a man better go. Any man bust a shot him off a back up and go. Point it on him head back and go. Pop off him strap on him friend him do. None of that to that. Yo, you know the thing going on, Sotto seat up a beat, you know. Hey man, take your time man. Go man. To them people.